You are listening to the Project Management Podcast. We bring project management topics to beginners and experts. Find us on the web at pmpodcast.blogspot.com or send your emails to pmpodcast@gmail.com. Hello and welcome to show number 19. I am Cornelius Fischner. This is the Project Management Podcast for the 11th of February 2006. Today I am continuing to go soft on you with my interview guest Moty Koppes, and we'll be talking about coaching, being coached, and how to improve yourself. But first, I am very happy to announce that I have some free software to give about. And this software that we have to give away is VIP Team To-Do List, and you can find them at todolistsoft.com. They write about the application. VIP Team To-Do List is a professional time and task management software for managing projects, workflow, and resources in small and mid-sized businesses. It enables team leaders and team members to create, manage, and share to-do lists within the team by email. Well, and if you want to win one of the two licenses in order to participate in this giveaway, all you have to do is send an email to myself, pmpodcast@gmail.com. In the subject line, simply write to-do list, and in the body of the email, write your name and what country you're writing from. That's about it. Your email has to reach me by the 21st of February this year, of course, and the winners will be announced on the show of the February the 25th. So you've got some time there, but the sooner you do it, the faster you're done. Some of you who have subscribed to the Project from Hell podcast, I gave you a review of that a little while back, may have noticed that it looks like it's no longer being updated. Well, wrong. The reason for why it might seem this way is because they have two feeds listed in iTunes. And one of those feeds is dead. It looks like they're no longer updating that one, but they're updating the other one. So you have to simply subscribe to the correct RSS feed. Start iTunes, go to the music store, select podcasts, and then there search for Project Hell. The two words, Project and Hell. You'll get the top two results are Project Management, Project from Hell, and the second one is simply Project from Hell. Subscribe to the second one, the one that is called Project from Hell. And then you're once again up to date with the Project from Hell podcast. I also wanted to apologize for last week's show. You may have noticed that there were about 6 minutes of silence at the end of the show. No idea how that happened. Sorry about that. Today I'm trying to increase that to 25 minutes. No, just kidding. I'd like to see that I get rid of that this time. Finally, here in the announcements, again, a sponsor. Does your company have a project management tool, project management book, or a project management seminar to promote? Then why not become a sponsor of this show here, the Project Management Podcast? Being a sponsor of the Project Management Podcast will immediately get your message into the ears of thousands of project managers worldwide, at a cost which is much lower than what you would have to pay for an ad in a trade magazine. Simply write to me at pmpodcast@gmail.com and I'll be happy to discuss a sponsorship with you. Well, that's about it for the announcements this week. And now we're moving on to the helpful resources and the project management news. Today's helpful resources are all about project management methodologies because I have received the following email. Hello from Madrid, Spain. I do enjoy your show. Keep up the good and entertaining work. My question is as follows. I have a client, medium-sized multinational, and am focusing on organizational issues. I have discovered that project management skills are sorely needed. Also, and not surprisingly, the company has not adapted any project management methodology. I am now looking for a hint on which methodology would be a good candidate to look at with the following criteria: not overly bureaucratic, reasonably compact, well suited for business projects because engineering and IT is not a primary focus, and hopefully the study materials, templates are available at a reasonable cost both in the United States and Europe. And this email came to me from Mr. Etienne Danois Maric from, Madrid, Spain. Well, Etienne, you will find that I have listed 5 helpful resources for you today. The first one is a link to various white papers and articles on project management methodologies. You may simply want to go through those and check them out and see what you can find about project management methodologies in theory. The second link that I have for you is a link to the 10-step project management methodology. I think I've mentioned 10-step quite a few times here. They are a no-nonsense, easy-to-implement project management methodology. The third link is to method 123, also a project management methodology that you may want to look into. Then the fourth one here is a link to Project Smart. Project Smart is a website where you will also find several project management templates, some of which are free, and you may want to check out the free templates and then see if it looks like something that you may want to go with. And finally, I found some deliverables, project plans, and checklists free for download on Gantt. So that's the 5th link that I have for you in my helpful resources there. Of course, the big problem always is that many of these methodologies are, a collection of templates, and the processes is a completely different issue, because just introducing the templates in a company is one thing, but introducing the processes, making the company change ready, making them aware of the fact that, we need to change everything that we do and follow certain project management processes, that's really the big work. So whether or not your project management methodology is simple and easy or large and convoluted doesn't really matter. The issue usually, in my experience, is the fact that the companies are simply not ready to take that step and make the change. But if your company is ready, the one that you're currently consulting with, then these 5 links should at least give you a starting point towards these project management methodologies. Well, and that's the helpful resources for you, particularly Etienne, this week. And now, on with the news. The first news item is almost a continuation of the helpful resources for Etienne. The title of this one here is Hill Consulting launches a new project management methodology and a free offer. Well, pure coincidence. This was published on the 10th of February 2006, and it talks about the fact that the Hill Consulting Group announced that they are going to release their matrix-based methodology for project management called Project Prism, and it consists of 3 components which they say facilitate the methodology implementation and use, and they are a project management process guide, a complete and comprehensive compilation of essential project management processes, the issue that I talked about, that's what you really need. Then the second one is a project management practice guide, a presentation of concepts and models that help users to perform the prescribed processes. And the third one is a project management toolkit, a tool set for performing each process step so you know that essential actions are being performed and managed. And they're releasing this, and they're doing a few workshops. They are in Chicago, Charlotte, and Orlando here in the United States. Well, that's not going to help Etienne in Spain a lot, but at these 3 workshops, they're actually giving away the complete Project Prism methodology package to the attendees. So if you're in any of these 3 towns and you're looking for a methodology yourself, well, why not join this workshop and get it for free? Only 2 news items today, and the second one here is from February the 8th, and it's titled Hansoft releases next-gen game project management update. Well, this was very interesting for me because I had never expected that project management for gaming software, next generation gaming software, actually exists, that there is a particular market for, well, project management software for games. Very interesting little read here. They also say that they have various industries that actually use their software. Telecom, IT consulting have discovered the benefits of their software here by Hansoft, but they are still focusing on the gaming industry because that's where they have a big foothold. So interesting to see that there are very small niches that companies use to produce project management software. Yeah, and that is the news and helpful resources for this week. As always, if you want to read up on any news items, helpful resources that sounded interesting to you, go to pmpodcast.blogspot.com and you will find links to every item that I have just mentioned here. Now, let us move on to the main section of the show where we are continuing to look into soft skills. My interview today is Moty Koppes. She is a life and business coach. And we will be talking about the critical themes of her 2-day seminar on irresistible attraction. Moty is the leader in the cutting-edge field of personal and business coaching, and she helps individuals structure their life so that it is much easier for them to attract the opportunities that they want in life, both personally and professionally. Her clientele includes executives, professionals, and business owners, nationwide and international too. She coaches them over the phone or in person. She teaches coaching skills to the members of the American Society of Training and Development. Her professional background is actually in psychology, and this only makes it easier for her to help others to make tangible changes in their lives with less struggle, more attraction, and great results. In addition to running her own coaching business, Moty also volunteers with the Executive Coaches of Orange County. And the ECOC, that's an association which coaches non-profit leaders in the development and implementation of capacity building strategies. And just by pure coincidence, the ECOC is also coaching the PMIOC, of which I'm the chair-elect, in moving forward, taking the next step as an organization. And these people are really very, very smart. Now, as a project manager, you should listen to the following interview with Moty from 2 angles. First of all, listen from the angle of learning about coaching. Learn about the do's and the don'ts about coaching. Moty is very interesting to listen to, and I actually think this is one of the best interviews so far here on the show. Also, the second angle that you should listen to is learning about improving yourself. Moty has so many great suggestions that she's giving you in this interview on how you can move forward and move upward, become a better project manager by knowing yourself better. So these are the two angles that you should listen to in this interview. Well, and now let's hear the interview.
The Project Management Podcast Feature Interview. Today, with Moty Koppes, life, cultural assimilation, and executive coach.
Fellow project managers, we are continuing to delve into the soft skills of project management. And today I have Moty Koppes with me. Hello Moty, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you.
Moty is a life coach, a cultural assimilation coach, and also an executive coach. Moty, tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I have been a psychologist for 20 years. And I've been practicing in 7 different countries.
Right.
Lived in 16 different countries.
Switzerland among them, one of them, right?
Exactly, in Geneva, Switzerland. About 7 years ago, I had to think about what do I want to do when I grow up? What can I do that also give me energy?
Right.
And I decided that I want to be with people that all I could do is tweak here and tweak there to be their best. Mm-hmm. Rather than focusing on the problem, which is past focused, I wanted to focus on the future, which is a future focused. So in order for me, even though I have 3 masters in clinical and experimental psychology, 2 of them from University of Geneva and 1 from Pepperdine University in California, I decided that I need to really find what is my stick figure. How can I serve that stick figure? Mm-hmm. In order to do that, I went and I did 3 years of studying with a coach university in order to become a coach.
There is a coach university?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
And
where is
so
they?
The coach university is virtual.
Oh, okay.
Therefore, I decided obviously there are many universities that you can, coaching universities that you can attend. But since I was very good in one-to-one, in personal, I wanted to know how I can reach out via phone to my clients.
Right.
Because through the phone, you're not using all your 6 senses or 5 senses, if you like. You're using only 1. You have to listen what your clients are saying and what they are not saying. Mm-hmm. So you really need to have a different set of skill in order to be able to be present with your client. So that's what I decided to do. I selected Coach University, which is a virtual university, to really find out, first of all, to be on the call with anybody around the world because of my experience, and also to be able to reach out the many people. So that I went through the Coach University, graduated from Coach University, and therefore then I decided, okay, who are my stick figures? Who are the people that I can reach out? My number 1 priority was working with an individual that they want to take their life and their business to the next level.
Right.
In order to do that, what I'll do, I focus on their limitation. Mm-hmm. What is getting on the way of becoming successful? And then through peeling the onion, giving them assessment, finding out who they are, then I set goals and strategize, make them accountable, and champion them in order to get them to the next level. That was one. And then as I was going around and talking to many people, people said to me, Moty, you have lived in 16 different countries, you speak so many languages, why aren't you reaching out and helping the executives that are coming or going from US to help them out? So therefore I did more studies and more connection.
So that's your cultural assimilation coaching.
Right.
Yes.
So what I'll do, I work with the national and international companies to help their executives that are coming or going from U.S. to help them to assimilate and acculturate to their new business environment.
Right.
And so that is truly is my passion, because I've been there, done that, and I know exactly what it takes to really know yourself in order to be able to go through that transition.
Yes, I've personally done twice moving into a different country. I went to England for half a year when I was very young.
Right.
And then I came to the United States a few years ago. And both times it was a cultural shock.
Absolutely.
And I wish I would have had somebody like you
Yeah.
who would kind of given me some guidance.
Right.
Now, you've done this for 7 years now.
Right. And I want to tell you something. You said something that was important for me. One of the things that it really got me going as far as coaching is concerned, because it was an experience, and it was an exercise we had to go through our life and find out at what moment, if we had a coach or a mentor, our life would have been in a different path. And that was the key for me. I said, I want to be that person for the people that they really need someone to hold their hand, because I've been there, done that, so that I would be able to help them out.
Well, let's talk about the difference between a coach, mentor, trainer, consultant. What are the differences of all these words?
Sure. If you really imagine a triangle, on the bottom of one side is coaching. At the end, the other side of the continuum is consulting. And at the tip of the triangle is mentoring. Let me tell you what the differences are. Coaching is about asking a powerful question to draw the answer out of the client.
Okay.
And then set goals and strategize and move them forward.
Right.
Is really asking a powerful question. The client has the answer within. All you're doing, you're drawing it out. Consulting is about telling people, because you have a certain knowledge and expertise that the people they want to hear, and therefore you tell them. You're hired to tell them what to do.
Right.
Mentoring is someone who has a life experience and has a knowledge in a certain area. That person becomes your mentor, because it does a job of a coach and a consultant at the same time.
Right.
But in a very process-oriented, very specific way, because that person has the knowledge and expertise and the experience in that field, that person becomes a mentor to others.
Interesting. So when I introduced you, I said you're a business and life coach, a cultural assimilation coach, an executive coach.
Yes, those are that I draw that answer out of the people.
Okay, so you do less consulting and less mentoring. You focus more on the coaching.
Right,
then?
But I want to tell you something. When you are becoming a coach to someone, right? In the beginning, they come to really empower themselves, find out what is it that they really want, and put them in that path. And as you go through that, you become their mentor, you become their confidant, you become their trusted advisor, because you know them through that process, and you become someone that they could rely on, and they could connect with you anytime that there are other issues that comes on their life. So it's not about one time or two time, doing the work with the client. It's being for them through their life, because as you know, when you help someone in one area in their life, it has a ripple effect in all the areas in their life.
Of course.
And therefore, when other issues comes up, since they have a relationship with you, they want you to help them, to guide them, to assist them into that path.
So in other words, what you're telling me is that even though you have a business relationship with some people, they may come to you with personal questions?
It's all about who, it's not about what. You see? It's not about what they are doing, it's about who they are and how they are experiencing themselves. And that's the reason I consider myself someone that works from inside out. That means I remove all those blockage that gets on your way of being your 100%.
Right. Now, one of the commonplaces that you always hear is that you cannot change someone else, you can only change yourself.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So how do you get over this? Because, I mean, okay, the people who come to you, they probably want to change.
Absolutely.
They want to better themselves.
Right.
But do you find that sometimes when companies employ you to help their executives that you feel resistance?
Well, sure, you feel resistant in a sense that if you're working internally, if the company has hired you
Yes.
to help their clients, then you need to have the confidentiality, because there is no trust.
Yes.
Because they're so afraid that because somebody else is paying the bill, you might disclose some information to them that is not going to be beneficial. So what you do right from the start, you create a very solid boundaries with the companies by saying, although you're paying me, I need to be in a relationship with your employees.
Yes, of course.
And therefore, I would not disclose anything that is not going to be helpful for the employees.
Right.
And therefore, you really have to set up a very solid, boundary about the confidentiality, so that person would trust you.
So it's all about the personal relationship
Absolutely.
between you and not your customer, who may
No.
be a company that's just paying you,
Right.
but your mentee, or
Right.
what do you call them?
You call it coachee or a
Coachee,
mentee.
okay,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Interesting. Now, you also do various seminars.
Right.
What seminar have you done that you feel was most successful in helping people to grow?
In their life.
Yes, and
as such.
better themselves, improve
There is
themselves.
a seminar that it takes 2 days that I do, and I've been
Yes.
very successful. It is called How to Be Irresistibly Attractive.
Okay.
This concept is not about being charismatic or is handsome. It's about energy. That the
Okay,
energy
okay.
in life is floating.
Yes.
What do we have as an individual, as a
Yes.
human being? We have choices. Either we go with the energy, with the things that gives us energy, positive energy,
yes.
or go with the things that takes our energy away. I would like to backtrack a little bit. Because I lived in so many different countries, I have a bags of tricks, if you like. And by that I mean I apply so many other concepts to me. For me, coaching is about decluttering. It's like a modern painting, that there is nothing in it except the frame and maybe some little scratch or some sort of a design. Because this modern painting allows you stand in front of a frame that is empty, you put what you want into that
it.
painting,
Okay.
and that painting becomes beautiful to you. Therefore, in my coaching, I declutter. I want to get all of the things that saps your energy so that we can be very clear about what is it that you really, really want. So this program of how to become irresistibly attractive is about the energy.
And about decluttering as well?
That's what I'm going to talk about, is because when you want to become irresistibly attractive, there are 5 levels that you can follow.
Yes.
Because those 5 levels one is to have a solid foundation. That level 1. Because solid foundation is like having a solid building your house on a solid foundation.
Right.
When your house is solid, nothing can change it.
Right.
The wind is not going to blow it away.
No, of course
it is
not,
there.
yeah.
So if we are ourselves solid within, then we would not be, as we were talking about a project manager, we are exposed to so many things, so many distractions. If you're solid within, nothing can change you.
So you have to know yourself?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You need to know, what are you tolerating? What are those toleration? That's the number 1. Toleration are the things that saps our energy.
Right.
Every single person tolerates between 60 to 100 things. It can be as small as a rip in our bathrobe that every time we get into a shower, you just say, oh, I got to fix it. or it can be as big as micromanaging your boss. Your boss who is micromanaging
Right.
you is huge, is humongous.
So you have to first understand
First
what
to
can
find
you
that.
take.
Right. It is about finding out what gives you energy and what saps your
Takes energy away from
Okay.
you. All right, yes.
Okay, that is really important. I give you an example. There is a client of mine who is earning $1 million per year, and she is one of the very top-notch financial advisors. She was coming to me and she says, Moty, I am so overwhelmed. These clients of mine are really, really pulling me down. So I said to her, I want to do something for you. I want you to print out from the computer your weekly plan, your schedule.
The schedule.
I want you
okay,
to get
yes.
two highlighter, one green and one red. I want you to go through your schedule and highlight the things that gives you energy
Yes.
in green, and highlight the things that saps your energy in red, and bring it out so we can talk about it. And what we find out, there were certain type of her clients that they were extremely demanding, and they had a hard time working with a woman financial advisor.
Okay.
So that you find out these people are really sapping your energy. So what we decided with her was to be able to maybe delegate those clients
To someone else. Right.
and pick up the ones that it's truly for them is challenge,
Yeah.
or maybe that for you to work. And I tell you, she is so energized.
I imagine.
She just loves what she's doing.
If you get
because-
rid of the things you don't like.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I already hear the printers going in the background of all the listeners. So do you suggest that this is a tool that anyone can use? Print out your schedule, go through it,
Absolutely.
see what is green, see what is red, and get rid of the red?
And try to find out how you can delegate that.
Yes.
Because you really need to strengthen your strength and delegate your weaknesses. Because those are the weaknesses are the
Okay.
things that sap our energy.
right.
And I really encourage our listeners to be able to really do themselves a favor.
Okay, so that was number one, solid
Number one.
foundation,
The number
right?
two is to have a solid boundaries. Boundaries is like a moat around our castle. In the old time, they used to put water around their castles
Right.
to protect themselves from the intruder. Boundaries are the imaginary walls and moat that we put
Right.
around ourselves to
Right.
protect ourselves. We can be sometimes with a person who is extremely a colleague that it is raising their hand, raising the voice so much.
Yes.
Those are the people that we need to have to let them. There are 4 steps in setting up the boundaries: to inform that they're raising their voice and you don't
Okay.
tolerate that, to request that they slow down their voice. That can be for anything. To insist that they raise their voice with a very neutral
mean
tone
lower
of
their
voice.
voice?
Lower
Yes.
voice. With a very neutral tone of voice,
Yes.
so that you're not reacting, but you're responding to them. And the 4th, you just say, as long as you are really raising the voice, I need to remove myself from it.
Okay.
So by creating the solid boundary. And the 3rd is getting our needs met. So many of us, we really don't know what our true needs are. And we try to substitute that need with the things that it's truly is not appropriate. And have you noticed, the things that substitute our real need, we never have enough of them because they are not the real issue.
Yeah, shopping, watching television.
Alcohol,
Yeah.
drug, anything
Yeah.
like that. Those are not the real things. They are really putting a bandage on our real needs. So it's really important for us to know that.
Okay, okay.
The second level is reserve. Reserve, it's like thinking that you need more than anything you need or more than anything you want. Those are the reserve. It can be of reserve of time, reserve of money, reserve of relationship, reserve of peace of mind. We
Right.
need to have a reserve of things in order for us to be attractive. Because when we have a reserve, we are not having stress.
Right,
We have
there's
a
always
peace
a
of
way
mind.
for you to escape, so
Precisely,
to speak.
precisely.
You have something left over. Yes.
Exactly. The 3rd level is being in a flow. Being in a flow is not a cliche. It means being in a flow of activity,
Yes.
doing the things that gives you energy,
Right.
being in a relationship that really makes the best out of you.
Right.
So those are the things that allow us to be in the flow. That is truly is very important.
Flow is sometimes difficult for me because some days I am in the flow, some days I'm not in the flow, right?
Right,
So
right. But you need to create that balance.
Okay.
You see, that the moment you are not in that flow and you're feeling drained, you have to anchor yourself to something that's going to pull you up and create that balance for you.
Yeah, I usually just go home and hope that it gets better the next day.
Yeah, but you don't want to hide it.
Yeah.
You don't want to put it away. But the problem's there. You don't want to run away from it.
Yes.
You need at that moment to take charge to be able to really create a balance for yourself.
And I also don't think that this is something that you have to focus on 100% of the time, right? I mean, sometimes there are good days, there are bad days,
Right.
and things work the way
For
they
sure,
shouldn't.
absolutely,
And sometimes
absolutely.
they shouldn't.
But just being aware of that,
Right.
that already gives you that more strength.
All right, so were
have
those
done
all
the-
the solid boundaries, or?
No, that was the flow.
That was the
third
okay,
level.
okay.
Third level of
okay.
irresistible attraction is.
Okay, so
The
you have solid
reserve was-
foundation, solid boundaries, right?
So the first was the personal foundation.
Yes.
In the personal foundation, we had toleration,
Yep.
boundaries, and getting your needs met.
Okay, boundaries, okay, and needs. All right.
The second level was reserve. Reserve was having more than you think you need or
All
you
right.
think you deserve.
Okay.
In order to really be more attractive to
Okay.
yourself. The third level is the flow.
Is the flow, okay.
Being in the flow of the activities.
Sorry, I wrote this wrong,
Sure,
completely wrong.
that's no problem.
Okay.
And the fourth level is buff.
Buff?
Yeah, buff means perfection plus your personal stamp. As if that your personal stamp is put on your life. Let's just pick up your office.
Yes.
Many people, they live in a little cubicle. And that cubicle can take a lot of energy. It can be very boring. So what you can do
Mine is basically messy, that's what mine is.
what you could do, that you need to declutter here. We get to that in a
Yes,
minute.
okay.
But having a buff is putting a family picture or
Yes.
putting a little plant or something that it just lifts you up.
Ah.
That makes that,
Yes.
suitable for you. That's
Yes.
what I mean.
Make it yourself.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Having your
Yes.
personal stamp on it. Having a buff body. If you really feel good, do the exercises,
Right.
take care of your food. You really feel good about yourself. Being in a buff relationship, being with the people that they want you to be your best, not the ones that are toxic, not
Right.
the ones that are constantly putting you down. These are the things what I mean by having the buff. Perfection plus your personal style. Okay. And the last, which is
fifth one?
the fifth
Yes.
one, which is attraction.
Yes.
That means when you have a solid foundation, when you have a good reserve of time and energy and peace of mind, when you are in the flow of activities, when you have a buff life, then you can be attractive to others.
Yes.
Then you can contribute. You can share your skill, your passion with everybody around you.
Right.
And I would like to share with you, there are so many things to be attractive to others. But what I like to do is to share with you 3 things that is so important for us to be attractive to others. One, I would like for you to be, I would like to share with you that there are so truly the 3 things that I would like to share with you. And I think it's so important. One is to be unconditionally constructive. It's different from constructive criticism. Constructive criticism, you see something, you want to tell somebody else.
Right.
Unconditionally constructive means you ask a permission. Like, for example, you see some fault in one of the people that are working for you as a manager.
Yes.
You just say, David, there is something that I have noticed and I'd like to share with you. Do you mind? Do you have a time?
Okay.
Do you mind if I share that with you? So you ask a permission to share with that person your observation. After all, your reality, is not the reality. So you share with that person your observation. Okay?
Yes.
That means to be unconditionally constructive. The second that I like to be is converting your compliment to acknowledgement. When you compliment someone, it's as if they have something. Oh, you have such a wonderful shirt, or I like that color.
Right.
That is a compliment. But acknowledgement is you acknowledging the person. For example, I'm saying to you, Cornelius, I really acknowledge how you're listening to me and how you're paying attention to what I'm sharing with you.
Right.
That is acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is about the person. Compliment is about having something that person has. Okay? The third, which is important, is strengthening your strength and delegating your weaknesses.
Okay, yes.
I mean, but that is very, very important.
Yes.
That is how you become attractive. That means, for example, if I am good in connecting with people and helping people to be better, but I'm not good in numbers, or I'm not good in really, doing my business and having, a business plan.
So
that
focus on what you're good at.
Focus what I'm good at, and really bring in the people and really use their energy in order for you to really be that attractive as they are.
Now, here's the question for you.
Right.
This is your seminar that you're doing, right? How do you go about in 2 days to help the attendees move through these steps? I mean, it sounds like a life-changing experience.
It is a process.
Yes.
It truly is a journey. It is not a destination.
So does that mean
it's true.
It usually means that the attendance of your seminar is only the beginning of the relationship with
Absolutely. And that is because you go through experience. You give them a lot of handouts. They really discover themselves. They peel the onion. They really work very, very hard in order to be able to really get to know themselves. It's a very experiential. It's not informational gathering. It is really working. So that 2 days of seminar is really concentrated on really peeling the onion, working through yourself, and really gain
trying to understand yourself first.
Exactly.
Okay.
As I say, it is truly a process. It is not the overnight thing. It's for people that are truly committed. It's not about having a life. It's about a lifestyle.
Right. Okay. Let me ask you a question. It sounds very touchy-feely. Yes? It sounds like you really have to come out of yourself.
Right.
Yeah. You have to want to open up.
Right.
And what kind of people take part in
the people that they want for themselves? They really see that they need to get in touch with themselves and know themselves in order to be able to be more productive. When you know yourself, then you can adjust yourself to other people.
Yes. I assume this is not for everybody.
Why not?
Well, I mean, not everybody might feel comfortable doing that.
I'm sure that there's the resistance, and then there is the question is, why? Why not? What gets on your way of wanting to get to know yourself and better yourself?
I never had a problem with that, but I understand that many people are out there who are not comfortable to come out of their own shell and say how they feel and understand themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, I can give you an example, for instance. There is a big difference between how people would react to a seminar like this between my home country, Switzerland, and here in the United States.
Right.
Here in the United States, people are more open. They talk about their feelings. They open up to others more easily.
Right.
Whereas in Switzerland, we are more reserved.
Absolutely.
We kind of swallow our own pain before we open up to others. It really has to hurt a lot before we start talking about things.
I mean, in my experience in Switzerland, I was a psychologist there.
Yes.
Right. It is not, I don't think that Switzerland would not have the capability or have more pain.
Yes.
It's a slower process.
Yes, okay.
For the Swiss people, is much more slower
Okay.
to be able to really get in there and want to really change. Because when I have noticed myself experience, in order to really create a friendship with a Swiss person,
Oh, it takes
with the
years.
people, it takes years. But when you are their friend,
Oh, yeah.
you're their friend forever. So that process, that means you have to earn your trust.
Yes.
You know, you have to earn their trust. And that is a slower process. But that does not mean that, you know, they would not want to get to know
Right,
themselves. I'm
right.
sure when you expose them, it's just like coaching. When you teach them or expose them to the different way of doing things, then they see, wow, I have a choice here.
Right.
But if they don't know, obviously they don't know, and they're just going to go on and do what they need to be
Okay.
doing. You
Now,
see?
how does going through all these steps help someone in a business career,
Right.
and in our particular situation here, a project manager in a
Right.
business career?
Uh-huh.
How does it help them to become a better project manager?
I think I would focus on a better person within.
Okay.
You know, as we're talking, if you feel, as a project manager, if you feel solid within yourself, you know yourself well, you know your reaction, you know your strength, you know your weaknesses, you know what you want. You
Right.
are like that solid home that you're building. You're standing on a solid ground, so that all this stress that coming from environment, all this push and shove and dealing with all the different limitation and the
Yes.
different personalities, is you're not going to empty your bucket, so to speak.
Yes.
You stand so solid, and you understand everybody else has their own issues, and you look at them from a distance rather than just being so absorbed with it.
Okay.
That is the whole bottom line for all this. You know, because we are in the age that is so stressful. There is so many multitasking and so many things, and people, they haven't really gelled, you know, knowing themselves, and therefore they get
Yes.
so involved. And I think it is going to help a project manager to be able to really stand solid ground and not to be able to be influenced so much by what is going on.
Yes.
That is
Yeah.
the whole idea.
Now, this takes years, right? I assume. It's not something
Sure,
you
no,
can do
that is
within a
not.
week or
No,
two, and then,
no.
well,
It
you go
takes-
from one step
yeah,
to the
yeah, yeah,
next.
yeah.
So that means if you are a junior in your career,
Yeah.
you should begin working on yourself.
Absolutely.
In order to better yourself
For
as
later on, because
5-10 year goal.
Precisely, and as I was just sharing with you
Yes.
before our interview, that many young people now, in their career, is
yes,
not a
correct.
linear career
Yes,
for them.
not like our parents
No.
had. You start at one company and
You continue till
until
your
you-
pension,
yeah, exactly.
you know, stay in the same
Yeah, yeah.
place. No, you are doing projects. Your career is made of various projects.
Yes.
And therefore, in order to do those projects and in order to be able to stand out and be solid and not to be so overwhelmed and stressed out, you need to know yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the reason my job, as I'm doing right now, is helping those young people to really gel about who they are, so that when you are in those environments, to be able to tolerate that.
What's the percentage, say, between young people below, shall we say, 30, that you are working with?
Right now, I
Yes.
think I would say about 30% of my clients
okay.
are
below 30.
yes,
Oh,
they
interesting.
are either they are in the career transition,
Yes.
or they are already burned out and they want to do their own job. They
Yeah.
want to have their own business. So I'm helping them to really see whether they have what it takes in order to become a solopreneur, or someone who can really
Right.
stand up and tolerate their own.
Have you seen any changes
Absolutely.
over those years? Has it become almost fashionable, maybe, to have a mentor?
Sure. Right now, I mean, it's just having a mentor
Yes.
in your life is just like if you look around you, all these very successful
Right, right.
sport an actor says, any smart people that are successful, they have mentors, they have their stakeholders that they are holding them, making them to be their best. I have my coach has 4 coaches. He has a personal coach, he has a professional coach, he has a financial coach, and he has a spiritual coach.
Really?
He says, Moty, I have surrounded myself with people that they want me to be my best. They are objective enough that they are looking at me from the balcony and seeing me just like a sport coach, you know, with a block in your hand, and you're really watching me in my life to see where I need to tweak in order to be my best.
But to have 4 coaches, that really means you have to absolutely know yourself and know where you're going, because you have 4 people who are constantly, well, almost nagging.
Not nagging,
Well,
they're supporting you. It's not about nagging, it's supporting
going
you,
to the extreme,
championing
of course.
you.
Championing, okay.
Yeah.
But they're also telling you that, well, you may not want to go down this route.
No, they don't.
They don't?
The coaches, they don't. As I said, the coaches,
Yes,
they
correct.
draw
They
the
ask
best out of
you,
you.
they don't tell you.
No.
Correct.
That is,
The trainer tells you you're doing it wrong, go
Right.
the other way.
Exactly.
The coach
the coach
asks
brings
you,
the best,
where would
the
you
answer.
like to be?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's right. And
of
then
course.
they guide you and strategize with you
Yes.
in order to get to where you want to
Yes.
go.
Okay.
That's how it goes.
All right. Now, you also do coaching worldwide, right?
Yes, I do.
Now, how do you do that with someone in Europe, for instance? How do you coach them?
Well, usually we arrange a time
Yes.
that suits for them, and then that corresponds to the time that I'm awake.
Yes.
And then they call me,
Yeah.
and then we have an hour of coaching on the phone.
Right.
That is how I do, and I, through the email or through faxing, I send them, all the paperwork that they need to do, the assessment that they have to take. So in that respect, and then what I offer with my clients usually is that it's not about that fixed hour that we have organized
Yes.
between ourselves. They can call me anytime, or they can send me an email if an issue comes up. I am there for them in order to respond to that issue, that their
Yes.
concern and the
Yes.
support that they need
Yes.
to have. That's how I work.
Yeah. Languages?
Yeah, well, I am right now. I'm working in Dutch,
In Dutch, okay.
in French,
Yes.
and in Japanese
As well.
Yes, I'm coaching all these people.
Wonderful.
Yes, yes.
So if any of our listeners needed a coach,
Absolutely.
you'd be more than happy to support them, right?
Yes, and my mission in life is to
Yes.
be able to make a difference in many people's life, and people that they truly would like, and they have made the decision that indeed they want to get their life to the next level.
Right.
So I am like a travel agent. I prepare the road, but they have to do the trip.
Absolutely, yes. You give them the ticket. Now, before we started the interview, you gave me a printout of the universal law of attraction, right? I assume this universal law of attraction is part of the seminar that we talked
Absolutely.
about, right?
Absolutely.
So it says here, maybe you would like to comment
No,
on
just
that.
go ahead.
The universal law of attraction states we attract whatever we choose to give our attention to, whether wanted or unwanted.
Exactly.
Now, is that part of the how to be attractive to anyone?
Exactly. And that is also, it's true that if we want to be in a dysfunctional relationship, in a job that it really is not suitable for us, with a boss that it's really micromanaging us,
Right.
then we are attracting those people. It's where we put our focus,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
It's just a focus. There is nothing, miracle about that. When you put your focus into something, that's what you're attracting.
Okay.
So if you want to really take your life to the next level, if you want to have a better life, better relationship, better job, better communication, that is what you need to put your energy on. That's that focus. That is the law of attraction.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for having been on the show today. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you. I think that if anybody would like to to reach me and find out about other things that I'm doing with my clients, with the various companies, I would really encourage them to either reach me at my email at motykoppes@cox.net, is MOTYKOPPES at Cox, COX.net, or visit my website at www.coachmoty.com.
Wonderful. I will also put this up on my blog so that people can easily find you.
Absolutely. Wow. I would be more than delighted to be able to really talk with you, encourage you, or guide you to wherever you want to go, whatever you want, whatever goal you want to reach.
And that's it for today. Thank you very much for listening. In our next show, I hope to continue the theme of soft skills by looking at your communication skills with my guest, Steve Kay. As always, you can find us on the web at pmpodcast.blogspot.com or send your emails to pmpodcast@gmail.com. And when you write, tell me where in the world you are writing from. And finally, we have this. Everyone asks for strong project managers, but when they get them, they don't want them anymore. With that, make a difference on your project. You have been brought into your company and onto your projects for your unique abilities. Maybe it's technical skills, maybe it's your organizational talent, your enthusiasm, or people management skills. Use these skills to your fullest potential to make a difference. Otherwise, there's really no need for the company to keep paying you, right? Until next time.